Alright everybody, oops, let me shut this off. There we go. Don't want any of those stupid YouTube copyright things. They hear my music somehow. Anyways, here it is. I cut off the nose cone here. I don't know what to call it exactly. Yeah, this fit right on top here. So what I did is I took my little Tammy scribing saws and I just cut down into this wing root over and over and over again until I basically went through. Did the same thing on here. I just kind of kept going through until I could pop it off. There it is. And removed it. I cut here as well, actually. Forgot about that one. And then I spray painted it green, but you can kind of see it didn't quite work. It'll actually show better, I think, on this one here. You can kind of see some dark areas and some light areas, and that's where the paint used to be. And yeah, I tried about 3 layers of it and nothing worked properly. So I thought, heck with it. It actually looks kind of cool when you see it in there. And now I've painted up the whole thing. So I am going to restore it. Yeah. I made my decision. I'm going to restore it, and I'm also going to buy another one later on. When it comes in back around. The one I'm going to build though, because I was going to build this green one, but I'd have 2 green ones. I don't want 2 green ones. I kind of want to get the dogfight kit, but I just don't know when, but I will. I don't want to have 2 green ones because this is basically the same one in the dogfight, but the dogfight one's nicer. It has these nice stripes on the tail. I like it a lot more. I think it's a midway version, but I'm going to build this Pearl Harbor one right here, with all the bombs on the bottom and this green painted on here. And if you recall, it's right here. Rob sent me this a little while ago. It's the Airfix Model World issue 58. The Nakajima Kate. This was when they were first releasing it. And so here, yeah, I'm going to paint it like this one. Not going to fold the wing up, but it's going to be the same camouflage. Chris Jones, yeah, he kind of put me in touch with the guy, and beautiful, beautiful, beautiful model he did. So I think I can replicate that camouflage with my airbrush. At least that's what I'm going to try. So what I'm going to do now, hold on, I'm stuck. One thing I had a bit of a problem with is the control panels here, but then I found this. Check this out, this is cool. This is almost like cheating. In the instructions, there are big pictures right here. Ha ha ha. So they might be a little small, but I don't care. It beats having to wait to buy a new set of decals and wait 2 weeks for them to come in. I can just do it like that. You know, once the canopy goes over top, I don't think you're really going to notice. Plus, like I mentioned this before, but when I get the other one, in the dogfight set, I want to have all the windows open on that one, so you can see all the inside much more. I want to detail it a little bit better than I am on here. This is a little bit of a rush job. It looks good, but yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So there are some decals that I don't have, like the radio one here, but that one never fit anyways, so I never quite got that one. And there's this one here with a little, I'm not sure what they are, but they look like the canisters for the magazine. So all that being said, I do have at least those 2 that would otherwise be blank. And hold on, let me just put this away. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some sandpaper, not that one, maybe I don't have any out. Oh no, I do. I'm going to take some 1000 grit and I'm going to sand everything. Everything is going to be sanded down nice and smooth, because again, it's still a little tacky, and I'm pretty sure if I use a light enough grit sandpaper, I can get rid of that once and for all. Sand down the whole thing, nice and smooth. Especially this part here, the tail. Oh, it's going to be quite a bit of work, but I'm up for it. And well, I am now. I'm going to do all that. Once that's done, I'm going to do a panel line wash in the model. Clean up the panel line wash. I'm going to add some new seat belts, some new harnesses here, and the instrument panels. And then I think it'll be done, basically. I don't have to do anything else. I can glue it all back together and continue working on from there. So that's kind of my strategy for right now. It's going to be a bit of work, like I mentioned, but I'll get through it. I will. So I'm going to go start sanding down some of these areas right now. But, yeah, looks pretty good for right now. Not too shabby. I'm impressed I was able to get it back this far. So let's get to it. Alright guys, I want to show you two things. Number one, I'll show you the happiest boxer dog in the world right now. Here. She's got her rawhides. She loves these things. Where's the other one? Hey, come on. Yep, she's really happy. Good girl. So the next thing I'm going to show you guys is a really cool product. And actually my brother picked these up, and I remembered I had some. He gave me little samples to use. These are Tammy ascending sponge sheets, and they're basically just sponge sandpaper, you know. And yeah, where is it? Here, I got this one done. And this looks really good. The sticky tackiness is gone, thankfully. And, yeah, it'll be ready for a priming coat in a little while. But what's really nice about this sanding sheet here is the fact that, like, a place like this, inside the wing root, is... I can get it with this paper. That's not too bad. But when you have this sanding sponge, it kind of pushes back. So you're actually able to get into every recess a lot easier. And so it's all clean. It's really awesome. So all I need to do is go like this. Do a little bit more here and there. It's going to be especially easier when I get into the tail here. You know, just going like that. It's going to clean it all up. And again, just polishing it with this. So, like I said, I'm going to go finish doing all that. It's not going to take me as long as I thought, which is really nice. The next step is is putting it together and puttying it. I can see a little area in there I need to fill in. And there's going to be a couple little spots, but as soon as it's done, I am going to prime it. And I'm not even going to, I'm not even going to have to try and worry about dealing with that. Because that would just, I think to paint over this would just be kind of like tempting fate again, asking for something bad to happen. And knowing me, it would, so... So yeah, getting it all nice and clean here, and these sanding sponges are not very expensive. You know, I think with the currency exchange, these were like $4 for. It's a pretty big square too, and they last quite a while. But it's just, you wouldn't believe how nice it is just to have way more control of everything when you're sanding it. Can't get that little spot there. Maybe this will. There we go. So, yeah. There we go. That looks really good. So I'm actually really happy with how this is turning out. So it hasn't taken me nearly as long as I thought it would. This tail wheel, that's gonna be a mess to clean out because it's so tight in every little crevice. But I'll figure it out when I get there. It'll just be a little bit slower work. I did run into a bit of a problem with the paint. Some of the areas that are darker, they still wanted to lift. So when I applied the wash and then I tried to clean it up, I ended up just actually scruffing away some of the paint underneath of it, which sucked. So what I did instead is I just went ahead and instead of actually cleaning up the wash, I just took my brush and dry brushed over top of everything. It actually looks not that bad, half decent from what you're going to see through the canopy. So the next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut out and glue the instrument panels, dials and stuff on, and I added on the seat belts, as you can see here. I think they look pretty good, and these are just scans of the actual decal that like Tammy produces, and yeah, I just cut and scanned them out, made them out of paper, and where are they? Yeah, I've got a bunch of them here, so I can cut and use them out for whatever I need. So yeah, after I install those, it's going to be time to add on the fuselage, like so, and then I'm going to putty this up. I'm going to putty up whatever else needs to be done, and I'm going to prime it. And I did take it out and I did wash it with a some strong dish detergent and a toothbrush, and that got rid of a lot of excess buildup. And it still is a bit tacky, but I'm pretty sure once I prime it, it'll be okay. At least I hope. So if the priming coat doesn't work, yeah, then I'll probably have to give up on it. Like if the paint still flakes up after that, it's kind of like, yeah, that's the end of the story. I am going to use this Tammy liquid surface primer. This is just, yeah, you just mix it with a little bit of lacquer thinner and away you go. It's really, really good stuff. I like it a lot. What did I use? Yeah, I used it on the Honda N360 just a little while ago, and it was very, very nice to use. And I was really surprised keeping it at a nice lower pressure, no fumes whatsoever. So I was quite happy about that, actually. And you don't waste as much, with the rattle can and stuff like that. So that's about it. I'm gonna go ahead and do all this. So yeah, next thing you'll see is the whole thing put together and puttied, and round, round, round we go. Okay, everybody, here it is. It has been primed, and I spent a good half hour sanding and kind of just rescribing out some of the lines just a little bit, and I'm very happy with this. Now, because of the panel lines in there, I used, and I wanted to try airbrushing this. This is Mr. Hobby Mr. Surfacer 1200. You guys have seen me use this. I use it mostly for little scratches and things like that, filling in little sink marks and stuff. It's very nice for that, but I want to try airbrushing it. And then I didn't have any sorry, any Mr. Hobby thinner. So what do you use? I like to keep the paints with their appropriate thinner. I find that they work way better if you buy whatever thinner it needs. And I read that you can use Tammy thinner. It does need to be stirred up a little bit more than I think you would if I had some Mr. Hobby, but it worked out really, really well. The only problem with it was I basically did the top and the bottoms of the wings, and I ran out of the primer, and so I had to fill it up. And it only took me at the most 2 minutes to fill it up and stir it up again, and by that time my airbrush was clogged. This stuff dries really, really quickly. So There were a couple little imperfections in it. There was a little bit of beading in here where it becomes, you know, really rough when you get to paint in that area. And that was easy. I just took the sandpaper and the sanding sponge, and yeah, it was a bit rough, and I've just sanded it all down, and it's really, really nice. It's leveled itself out perfectly. I'm very, very happy with this. So, this is really, really good. I don't feel any sticky, tacky, nothing like that was on here before, so I'm really, really glad I decided to, to prime it, because it was kind of like, yeah, you know what, you should prime it. I don't usually prime my models, and I know there's a lot of people out there going, shaking their heads, going, you idiot, you should always prime your models, but I'll be honest, most of my experience, I don't need to prime the model, but because of everything that happened underneath it, this needs to be primed. So here I can feel it's a bit rough still, and you just take your sandpaper, and again, this is one of those instances where I find that when you're using, when you're trying to just get a smoother finish, you just don't use pressure, you just use friction, you just rub it back and forth, let the sandpaper do the work. You're not trying to, sand it down or anything like that, but yeah, it just becomes really nice and smooth again. So really, really happy about this. Last thing I want to make mention of here, this came in the mail today, and this is Humbrol Mascol. Yes, I finally got a bottle of this stuff, and I gotta ask, because I've never used this before, but, I can smell it all the way over here. This stuff stinks horribly. Is it supposed to stink like this? Like, I remember as a kid, we had pickled fish, it's kind of a holiday thing that my parents would do. And I remember one time one of those got stuffed at the back of the fridge. And, if you stick stuff at the back of the fridge, they freeze. I remember opening that, and it stank like it was one of the worst smells of my entire life. And this is pretty close to being a horrible stink. I'm actually considering, I'm not even kidding, I'm kind of like, should I keep this or should I toss it? Because I don't know if I'll be able to handle having that around. Just let me know, please. Let me know if this is worth it or not, because I'm kind of second guessing myself. But anyways, I'm not going to use that on this one. So the next thing we're going to do here is, where's the paint? I think this is it. Yeah, I think this is it. JN Gray, I think, is the one I want to use. I can't remember it right now. No, I want to use JA Gray. Yeah. No. That's another one. I have two. Okay, I gotta go look for my other color. Anyways, I'm gonna go use JA Gray, Japanese Army Gray. I like it more. I find it to be more appropriate than the Navy Gray. I find it to be a bit too dark. Personally, could use it. Maybe I will, seeing as how I got two bottles, might as well use them up. And after that, then we're going to go ahead and paint the stripes on there. And I'll talk more about the stripes later, because I have, I don't want to say I think the Airfix instructions are wrong, but not quite all the way there. Anyways, it's not a big deal. And I'll be back after I paint this thing up. Okay, everybody, here it is. It is done. This is take 2. I ran out of film, and yeah, anyways, here we go. We're gonna try this again. Yeah, take 2. I painted it down. I'm really so glad I decided to prime this silly thing. That saved my neck, and nothing's wrong with it. It's perfectly level. Nothing's flaking, nothing's bumpy, nothing's scratching off. It's on there nice and tight, and yeah, I'm really happy and relieved. I use JN Gray XF12. This is a very, very nice looking color. I like to use JA Gray a little bit more, but like I said, I had 2 bottles of this. I thought I'd use them up, and I'm glad I did. It's a very nice color. It's got kind of more of a blue tint instead of a bit of a green that the JA Gray has. Now, there's a bit of a thing I wanted to talk about here about the color. And just put this to the side here for a moment. Looking at the color of this, I was doing some research on this plane, and they recommend that you use 116 matte US dark green, and they say it's approximate to the IJN green. Okay, sure, I'll take your word for it. I'm not that familiar with umbrella paints anymore to know the difference otherwise, but you can see here it's this nice darkish green color. Now, I was looking at some pictures, and some of the pictures, oddly enough, are very, very deep green. And some of them are quite a light green, depending on what you look at. And it's hard to tell because, you know, again, it's black and white, but you do get the gist of it's a darker or a lighter color. So I think if you were to use something like JN green, yeah, here it is. This is Japanese navy green. This is what I usually use on the top surfaces of my Zeros. I think if you use this, you'd be quite correct in doing something like that. However, I really like the build in here because I'm quite fond of this bit of a brighter color. I think it's very nice. It's got a bit of a drabness to it, which I like. And so for that, we're gonna try some Nato Green. Now I'm gonna go paint this off screen. I'm sorry. Yeah, I know there's a lot of people out there who want to see me airbrushing, but basically I'm gonna be airbrushing it, you know, right up to my face, and probably about like this far away from the model. That's really hard to record, so I do apologize for that. But the next thing you're gonna see, hopefully, is the completed model. Well, not completed, completely painted model as far as the green goes. We still have to do the black of the anti-glare. So, all that being said and done, let's get to work here. I'm quite excited to get painting this. Okay, so I take it you all remember what it used to look like, right? Basically like this. So, it didn't turn out as I expected, but I'm really, really happy about this. Okay, ready? Ta-da! Here it is. All my little squiggle lines and everything like that. What I mean by it didn't turn out the way I expected it was I was kind of, let's just say I was kind of aiming for it to look like the magazine a little bit too much, I think. Yeah, he kind of has these blotchier lines in his, and I kind of went with these little squiggles, which actually I do like. I did kind of start out making blotches in here, but whatever. Like I said, I'm actually really happy with how this turned out. I think this looks pretty awesome, and it was really hard. It would have been really hard to record this. So the one thing I did notice before, and I left the instructions in the other room, is that the Hinomarus, the green goes around them here. So what I did is I had a circular template tool, and I took the decals, and I would see, okay, this one needs to be a little bit bigger, so I'd find one that was just a bit bigger. I'd trace that out, and then I placed them down on there and on the sides. So I'm going to remove these since I don't need them now. And I'm actually going to remove this because I don't need that for a little while. And I'm, like I said though, I'm really happy with how this turned out. So happy. And there we go. Sweet. So yeah, the Hinomaru will go right around that. Should look pretty nice, I hope. There we are. And let's do these ones here on the sides. So I'm going to let this dry for a good day. And tomorrow, or the day after, we're going to do the black anti-glare. There we go. So, like I said though, I'm really happy with how this turned out. This could have been kind of It could have been a bit of a mess, but it didn't. So yeah, like I said, just super happy. I think it looks really nice, and I can't wait. I honestly can't wait to see it with the Mars on there. That's gonna look spectacular. Hey, so yeah, the anti-glare panel. I'm not sure how I'm gonna mask this off exactly because it's a very curved shape. But forget about it. I'll worry about that when I get to it. So, time to let this dry. Couldn't be happier with the results. Hey everybody, it's done being painted. Now, I just want to say something before I begin. I did do a video unmasking the model, pulling off all the tape. But I didn't have the memory card in, which I thought I did. I didn't have it clicked in. It was in, but you know, it almost seems like for me, it would be at least for me, it would be a worthwhile invention if they had, like, you know, when you leave your keys in the ignition in the car and it makes this beeping sound. Yeah, that'd be really nice to have. But anyways, so here's the semi-gloss, and I have to say the part I was most worried about getting was the curve in here, and I'm actually very happy with it. So it's got the curve there. Nice curve on the other side, and as I was lifting up the tape, there's this big splotch of paint on the other side, and I panicked a little bit, and I'm looking around, seeing where I had to do touch-ups, and it was thankfully on the piece of tape right there. So, yeah, so far so good. So what I'm going to do next here is we're going to gloss coat it, or at least I am. I don't know, you might be building this too, and you're going to gloss coat it. For that, I'm just going to use Future, and I think about 2 layers if I do it now. 2 layers should do me well, and then possibly they'll be dry enough by the time I get back to it tomorrow, and I can start to do the decals and stuff, which I'm really excited to do. That's the part I'm really eager to see them all placed on here. But yeah, it was just semi-gloss black. Where is it? X18 semi-gloss black. A lot of people have said that, and I've heard this confirmed and unconfirmed reports with Japanese aircraft. It depends on the aircraft as well, but that the semi-gloss black, it could be a black. You could get away with using kind of a flat black, because sometimes that semi-gloss did fade away. I've seen plenty of pictures where it's just not quite there anymore, and I've seen a couple others where you can just tell it's just flat. But sometimes on the zeros, and I haven't heard about it on this one, but they say that it was it had a blue tint, very much like coal. Again, I never heard about that on this one. I don't really want to go and dig around making it this, you know, black with a little bit of blue tint in it. I have seen a couple people do it, and it does look nice, but it is a bit extra work, and I just don't want to go through all that right now, especially on a smaller scale. Bigger scale, yeah, I might risk a little bit of a venture in that, but for here it looks pretty good. And what I like to do here is I like this color, and I did this by accident a couple of years ago, is painting it semi-gloss, and then I added a flat coat over top of it. And I was really upset because I was like, oh, you idiot, now you have to go back and gloss it. But what ended up happening is it made this very beautiful color. It was very interesting. It looked really nice, kind of chalky. But it's still bold. It's still got that boldness from the gloss in there. And I really like that. So I like to do that with all my planes now. It's just something I like to do. It's not accurate or anything like that. But I think it looks pretty darn good. So yeah, that's the plan for right now. It just started raining. It sounds beautiful. I love rain. I love rain. So yeah, glossing it. Gonna go add a couple more parts. I'm gonna go start building parts. I think I'm gonna get to the wheels and stuff and do all that in a moment. So